Hi guys, today I'm thrilled to guide you through the process of crafting your very own Power BI dashboard to analyze the cryptocurrency portfolio performance. We'll start by testing the performance of the portfolios we generated in part 1 of this project for new data, specifically for the year of 2023. Then we're going to take it up a notch by designing a dashboard that automatically computes profits and losses based on 3 parameters: investment amount, entry date, and portfolio. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to this channel to stay updated with cutting-edge data science and business intelligence projects. If you haven't watched part 1 of this project, you will find a link in the description. You can watch it after you finish here. Also, you will find a link in the description containing the Power BI file and the material we will be covering in this video. Now, grab a cup of coffee, sit back and watch. Okay guys, this is the dashboard we created in part 1 of this project. We managed to get 2 portfolios, central and peripheral, and we found that the central portfolio usually performs better. However, this visual shows the same data we used in the network analysis to come up with those 2 portfolios. So the question now, what happens when we test the same portfolios in new data? And this is exactly what we're gonna do here. We'll test these 2 portfolios in new data for the year of 2023. To do this, we'll start from transform data. If you remember, when we prepared the data, we applied a date filter. This filter shows the data between the 3rd quarter of 2023 and the end of 2022. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna update this filter. So we want to remove this part here. So let's just select nothing and remove this value and click OK. Now the data contains 2023 values. So if we sort descending, we can see that 2023 values are showing here. Next step, for the network analysis query, we want to make sure it's still looking at the same period we analyzed from the previous part. So we don't want it to see 2023 values. And to do this, we'll apply the filter here for the date. Select date filters and select before. Insert a step. And we want it to see before the 2023 values. So select this is before and select the date for 1st of January 2023. So now the query works with the same period we analyzed in part 1 of this project. And we have the output of the Python code. Next step, we'll go to the portfolio query and we will reference it. And we'll name it Portfolio 2023. Now we'll just keep the portfolio or the name and the crypto columns and remove the others. So right click, remove other columns, and from home we'll go to remove columns and remove duplicates. So now we have the same portfolios from part 2. Now we'll apply to it the data from 2023. And to do this, we'll go to merge queries. And the first one is selected to portfolio 2023. The second one will be crypto prices. And we'll do the link between the crypto column and the coin name. Left outer include all from first, matching rows from second. Click OK. Now let's expand this and only keep date and price, and let's remove the prefix. Click OK. And finally, we want to filter the date to show only 2023 values. So again, let's apply date filter from here, date filters, after, and we select after or equal to and again select January 1st, 2023. Click OK. And now we have the 2023 data for both of the portfolios. The next step here, we want the old portfolio query to be filtered for the period until the end of 2022. To do this, we'll go to date filter again and use before and select the date to be 1st of January 2023. Click OK. The final step here, we want to update the date query. So we selected the source to be portfolio, and this only showing up to 2022. So we want to change the source to read from the crypto prices query. So let's just update it from here directly. Crypto prices. Accept. And if we go to the final step, we can see that we have the 2023 values. And now we're ready. We just close and apply. Now let's duplicate this page and name it 2023. Start by creating a new measure to calculate the price change for the new query. Select new measure, paste. It is the same measure we used in part 1, however the start date will be 2023, 1st of January, and the rest will be the same. Commit. Now we just need to update the fields for this visual. Let's select it and feed the date, and then the new measure we calculated, and finally the portfolio. And we can see here we have the new portfolios created, and we just format them like we did in the first part. And here we go. This is the visual after formatting. We can see at the very beginning that the peripheral portfolio and the center portfolio almost the same. However, when you go to later periods, we can see that the central portfolio is doing much better. Let's just convert this measure to percentage and keep the decimal places to 1. So now we can see it in percentage. We can see that the central portfolio until August is showing 55% increase from January 2023. Peripheral portfolio showing only 19.5% increase. Now we want to create an investment planning page. I just added the page here. So the plan here, we want to be able to create scenarios based on the price we select and the entry date we select, how the two portfolios will be doing. The first thing we need to do, we need to create a new table that stores the investment amount. To do this, we'll go to modeling, new table. I have it ready, I'll just paste. So the investment will be from 5,000 to 100,000 with an increment of $5,000. So let's hit OK. Now if we go to table, we can see that a table has been created with increments of 5,000. Let's just update this column to be a currency. And let's go back. Next we'll add a slicer and feed to it the investment amount. Let's just go to format your visual and select the style to be a vertical list. Let's just reduce the value size to fit inside. Remove the slicer header, and from general let's add a title, name it investment, reduce the size a little bit, 12, the text color, the background, put it in the center, and from effect, turn off the background and add borders with rounded corners of 10 and shadows. So we have the investment slicer ready. Let's also make this slicer a single select. So from settings again, from selection, and we make it single select. Next we want to add the entry date filter. To do this, we'll use another slicer, and from the date table we'll feed in the date. Let's format it. From slicer settings, select drop down and selection single select. Let's also remove the slicer header, and from general add a title. We name it entry date. The text color, the background, and put it in the center. Let's reduce the size to 12, and from effect turn off the background, add borders and shadows. Let's move it up here. Let's change the date format. Select the date column, and you can change the format here to the proper format. I'll just select this format. So now for the dates, you can see we have all the dates starting from 1st of July 2018. So let's filter that for only 2023. So select here from filters, advanced filter, and select is on or after, and select the date to be 1st of January 2023. So now if we look at the filter, we can see that we have the dates for 2023. Let's keep it at 1st of Jan for now. Next, we'll go to the 2023 page, and we will copy both of the visuals. Control A, Control C, and let's just paste them in this page and just resize them. And let's move this. Now we want to create a measure to calculate for us the total portfolio value based on selected date. Let's create a new measure. Right click, new measure. Let's just paste. So this measure calculates the portfolio value in dollars based on the selected current date. We can see here it first calculates the number of stocks we have based on the investment amount we select from this list, and then it calculates the portfolio value for all the dates. Let's commit. Next we'll create another measure. So new measure. This measure will give us the portfolio value based on the last date we have, and we'll use this to calculate the profit and loss. So let's commit, and also we create another measure to calculate the profit and loss for us. So new measure, and this measure will simply calculate the difference between the current portfolio and the initial investment amount from this table. So let's commit. So this is in US dollars. We'll create another measure to calculate it for us in percentage. So right click again, new measure, and paste. We have the last measure we created for profit and loss divided by the maximum investment value that we selected from this table, and commit. So now we are ready. Let's update this visual. Select this visual. Let's show the entire period for now. And for the date, we keep it as is. For the price change, we'll use instead the portfolio value. And for the name,
we keep it as is. We'll feed in profit and loss to the tooltip, both in dollar and in percentage. So now we have the visual ready. Let's, for example, test it for 50,000. Keep the entry date, for example, 1st of January. You can see how the portfolios change. For example, here in May, we can see that the central portfolio value is 86,000 with a profit of 36,000 and a percentage increase 74%. Let's just make this in as a percentage. Select this measure, convert it to a percentage, and keep it to 1 decimal place. So we can see here, now it's showing in percentage. The peripheral portfolio showing 70,000, profit of 20,000, and percentage of 41.8. Now if you decide to change the entry date, you can see that now the start date for this visual is changing according to what you select here, and the values as well. You can go to more advanced dates. For example, here let's select something in June. You can see the peripheral portfolio is doing better, and you can play and change the dates and see how the values are changing. So now let's add a couple of visuals to show the profits and losses for both of the portfolios. To do this, we'll add a card. Let's show it here and feed to it the portfolio current. Let's just format it. The value, make it 25 for example, the size, and remove the category label. And let's filter it for the central portfolio first. So we can see this reads the latest value here, 57,000.75. Let's also add a title for it, central portfolio, and let's change the text color to white, and the background, use the same color of the legends, put it in the center, and from effect we do the usual. Also, I want to add a dual card to show the profit both in dollars and in percentage. To do this, we'll use a new visual from the marketplace, get more visuals. We search for dual, and you can see here the dual card. Select it, add, import it, click OK. You can see it here. Let's just resize it and add to it PL and the PL percentage. So now we have both here. Let's just do some simple formatting for it. From effect, remove the background, add the borders and shadows. And from visual, we can also play with the format here, change the size, make it 25 for example, and add 1 decimal place here. And we maybe change the font color to white. And from data fill, we can use the same color we use for the central portfolio. And we can also change the data category to white color. And just to show this in currency format, we'll select the PL measure and add the comma from here. And again, we can format it. From comp label here, we can change the display units to none, for example, and we can add decimal places, 2 for example. So we have the visual ready, and this always reads at the last date. But maybe we can remove the corners for this one too. From effect, let's set this to 0. Now it looks better. We need now to apply the portfolio filter for this. Select the name and set it for central portfolio. Now we'll copy these two visuals and create them for the peripheral portfolio and change the colors. Now we have the dashboard ready and we can test it further for different values. If you change the investment amount here, you can see how the portfolio size changes and the profits and losses changes. And you can also change the entry dates. For example, let's go back to January. You can see here we make 51% until the mid of August, and the peripheral portfolio makes only 8,500, which is 13%. And that's it.
Now you're armed with a powerful tool that helps you analyze the cryptocurrency market, empowering you to make a well-informed decision. Remember, the strategy we covered in this project applies for other types of investments, like stocks for example. Actually, it works better for stocks. If you found the insights of this project valuable, please hit the like button and leave comments with your thoughts. And if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because there is abundance of captivating contents lined up for you. Stay tuned as we gear up for the next exhilarating project. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Peace.